Okay, today we are going to start the topic that is digestive system in human. As in the previous lecture also, we have drawn this diagram and few things we have discussed in the previous lecture, that is about the structure of teeth, fine. So we are continuing with that part only. Here in this diagram, let's like this particular part we were discussing about mouth. That means we were discussing about the buccal cavity. This buccal cavity consists of teeth, palate and tongue. In the previous class we have discussed about tongue and palate. Now we will going to discuss in this class about teeth. So what exactly the function of teeth is? In human being, teeth, basically the structure of important teeth is they are found in a bony socket. The teeth found in a bony socket. That means there are cavity made up of bone is known as bony socket, inside which the teeth is embedded, or you can say it is surrounded by the gums. In the previous lecture also we have discussed about the structure of teeth. The main important part of teeth is which is visible from outside. It is enamel. This is the hardest bone substance. Then it is dentine, the second hardest substance present just below the enamel. And then there is a pulp cavity, inside which the network of blood vessels present. So this part present inside the gum is the root part, and the part which is present above the gums is the crown part. And the material which is connecting the crown and the root with the gums is known as cement. It's a cementing layer which actually provides support the tooth, provides support to the tooth to remain embedded inside the cavity, that is a bony socket. Now if we talk about different set of tooth, so in human being there are two set of teeth found according to their lifetime, according to their time duration. For example, the two sets of teeth are temporary and permanent teeth. Right? Temporary means which are present just in infant or young one age, and these are 20 in number. While permanent teeth, that is the teeth, temporary teeth when replaced by the another type of teeth or another set of teeth which are very stable and which will not going to remove now, and it is found in adult one, and that is why it is 32 in number. Now these are the two different set of teeth found in human being, that is why the condition is known as diphyodont. The condition in which the teeth appears two times during the life cycle of a human being, so that condition is known as diphyodont. Now let's discuss about the types of teeth which found in we human beings. We have major four types of teeth: incisor, canine, premolar and molar. So incisor will write it, will represent it in the short form I, C, premolar PM and molar as M. Now what is incisor? The incisor present in the front part, that means these are the front teeth which only helps to break the food particle or to catch the food particle. Canines are the pointed teeth which are which is not actually functional in we human being, like the earlier it was very functional in carnivorous animals, and since we human being evolved from them only, so that's why these are present in us as a pointed teeth. Fine. So canines basically is used to tear the flesh. So the canines are more pointed in carnivorous animals. Premolar and molar, both of them are helpful in grinding and cutting the food particles into small pieces. Now the dental formula. What do you mean by dental formula? That means how 32 number of teeth arranged, in which manner you are distributed into incisor, canine, premolar and molar in human being. In dental formula is, in infants it is 2102 upon 2102, while in adult it is 2123 upon 2123. It means there is an arrangement incisor, canine, premolar and molar. In case of infants, like we have already discussed that in young ones the number of teeth is 20. So here let's count. This upper part is known as upper jaw. The numerical which is written, the terms with number which is written in the numerator part, it represents the upper jaw of the human being. Now this upper jaw is again divided into right half and left half. So we have written here 1/2 of the upper jaw. That means the number of teeth present in 1/2 of the upper jaw. That means 2 incisor present in 1/2. So another half, it should be again 2. So 4 incisor total in upper jaw. So total 4 incisor. Then we are discussing canine, like in 1/2 of, that means this half of upper jaw is having 1 canine. So total upper jaw will have the 2 canines. In the similar way, premolar is absent in infants, but molar, there are 2 molar in each half. That means total 4 molar in complete upper jaw. Now this is 4 plus 2, 8, 8 plus 4, 12. So basically 2102. What is happening? 2, 1, 2. So basically 4 plus 2, 6. 6 plus 4, total कितने हुए यहाँ पे 10. So 10 teeth are present in the upper jaw, as well as the same 10 teeth present are in the lower jaw. That is why we have written is multiplied by 2. So here total 20 teeth is distributed in this manner, 10 in upper and 10 in lower. In the same way in adult, the 32 teeth is distributed in this manner, like 2 incisor in half of the upper jaw and 2 in other half. So total 4 incisor in the upper jaw. Same 1 canine in half. So in total upper jaw we are having 2 canines. Then premolar is being developed in case of adults. So 2 in half. So in other half is also 2. So total number of premolar is 4 in upper jaw. Same way the molar, it is 6 in upper jaw. Now 4 plus 2, 6 plus 4, 10, 10 plus 6, 16. 16 number in upper jaw. So in the lower jaw is also 16. So total 32 teeth are distributed in upper and lower jaw. So this is all about the dental formula of teeth also and the functions of teeth, because teeth is mainly helping in cutting down the large food particle into small pieces so that it can be easily engulfed in the or throughout the esophagus. Now let's discuss the food particle which has been break up into small pieces. Now this food is going to mix up with the saliva. So that's why we can say there is a salivary gland present in the buccal part also, and that salivary glands are of 3 types, that is submaxillary gland, submandibular gland and parotid gland. So we have total 3 types of salivary glands. Basically there are sublingual, this is sublingual, fine, submaxillary or submandibular gland. So these are the 3 different types of glands we are present in the mouth. These 3 glands produce the secretion collectively known as saliva. Submaxillary and sublingual gland present in mouth, or you can say oral cavity. But this parotid gland present just below ears. This is present below the ears. So these glands which are secreting certain type of fluid are collectively known as saliva. This saliva contains various secretion or various substances. For example, the enzyme salivary amylase, which going to digest the starch into their component, that is maltose plus isomaltose. That means it is helping in the process of digestion of starch. That means you can say the digestion in human beings started or starts from mouth itself. This saliva also contain lysozyme. That means work against bacteria. Lysozyme actually inhibits the growth of bacteria when it comes along with the food. So lysozyme is one of the defense mechanism, or you can say the first line, or you can say the defensive function it has, because sometimes along with the food certain bacteria engulf along with the food. So this lysozyme firstly it acts on the bacteria which is coming with the food. So the saliva has this much important role. Now whenever the food mixes with the saliva, it forms a very soft bolus of food known as food bolus. This food bolus then enters into this esophagus. Now what is the function of esophagus? Esophagus is also known as food pipe. As such, in esophagus no digestion of food occurs. Here no digestion takes place. But then what is this role? Because the food bolus is coming from the mouth and enters into the esophagus. Esophagus passing or pushing the food bolus towards the stomach part. That means the another organ where the digestion will going to take place, that is stomach. Now what is happening in the esophagus is actually esophagus, the wall of esophagus is obviously containing the ciliated epithelial tissue, ciliated squamous epithelial tissue. Now what the role of cilia is? Cilia is actually pushing, it is directing or guiding the food bolus downward into the stomach. Another important role is that in esophagus there occurs peristaltic movement. Peristaltic. Now what is this peristaltic? This is the rhythmic, or you can say alternate contraction and relaxation. Contraction and relaxation, this means through which, through peristaltic movement, the food bolus is getting pushed towards the downward direction, and so that it can enter into the stomach. For example, in this manner. This is food bolus. Fine. So here the wall of esophagus is exhibiting or is experiencing this peristaltic movement. This is relaxation, then contraction, then relaxation, then contraction, then relaxation, then contraction. So this contraction relaxation process is known as peristalsis process, and the movement is peristaltic movement. Now due to this peristaltic movement only, food bolus is able to come into the next part of digestive system or the next organ, which is known as stomach. So let's talk about the stomach. This stomach is a J-shaped organ. This is J-shaped organ. Now, in which side it is present? For example, in the diagram we can say that stomach is present in the right side. But if we observe it in our body, that means it is present in the left side of the. So, the stomach is actually present in the left side or left abdomen, left part of the abdomen, where the stomach, which is a J-shaped organ, is present. Now, stomach is also having different parts. Cardiac, fundus and body. The whole stomach divided into three main regions. This particular part is cardiac, this is fundus, and the whole part is known as body. That means the cardiac is the part which is present near the heart. Just above it, in the thoracic part, there is a heart is present. So that is why this particular region of stomach can be called as cardiac part. As such, in this region, the digestion of food takes very less, or you can say minimum amount of digestion occur here, because this part present just slightly upper than the other part of the stomach. Then the fundus part. Fundus part is the part which is the region where just the esophagus is opening. That means this esophagus is having certain types of valve or a gates, you can say. This is known as esophageal sphincters. That means whenever the food enters into the esophagus, the distal end of the esophagus, which is opening into the stomach, has its own gate, or you can say the valve known as esophageal sphincter. Always, yeah, in the usual manner it remains closed, but whenever the food bolus enter in the esophagus and it need to come into the stomach, or it need to enter in the stomach, it should open, or you can say the esophageal sphincter gets open up. So that is why only the food bolus can enter in the stomach, and fundus is that part where the food bolus is entering from esophagus by the opening of esophageal sphincter. The body part is the whole region of the stomach, which is known as body, where maximum digestion takes place. Now what is stomach? Basically in stomach you can say different types of muscles also found. That is circular, longitudinal. This circular and longitudinal is on the basis of their arrangement of the cell. This circular and the longitudinal muscles are called on the basis of the arrangement of the muscular cells only. But these muscles is helping in the process of again peristaltic movement. Fine. So these muscles will going to help in the process of peristaltic movement whenever the food bolus enters in the stomach. Again, the peristalsis movement takes place in stomach also. Why? Because in stomach also the food need to be mixed up with the digestive juices or the gastric juices secreted by the stomach. So that is why peristalsis movement also takes place in stomach, so that the food particle again crushed, or you can say again get break up into small pieces. So you can say in stomach the mechanical as well as chemical digestion occurs. So both type of digestion, mechanical plus chemical. Mechanical in this, that means the food particle is crushing, or you can say grinding due to the peristaltic movement occurring in the stomach. Plus chemical means the digestion which takes place by enzymes, which is secreting in the stomach itself. Secretions of juices by stomach is known as gastric juices. Fine. All the glands which are present on the stomach wall, that means the glands which are present on the wall of stomach, is known as gastric glands. All these glands secrete the juices collectively known as gastric juices. These gastric juices contains HCl, enzyme, pepsinogen, prorenin, as well as other enzymes also, plus mucus. Mucus also secrete in the stomach. Now, actually stomach is especially designed for the digestion of proteins only. Here only protein digestion, that means the maximum digestion of which component of food takes place, that is protein. Now, the digestion of protein takes place by the enzyme pepsinogen and prorenin, as well as there are certain other enzymes are also present like lipase and amylase, which can digest carbohydrate and lipid, but the digestion of carbohydrate and lipid takes place in the stomach to a very less extent. That much digestion does not take place of carbohydrate and lipid up to the level of protein actually. So, protein digestion actually requires certain type of acidic condition. It always requires acidic medium because the digestive enzymes which digest protein, it needs acidic medium to activate or to act on the protein. So, that is why in stomach the HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, is secreted. Now, since HCl is very harmful, so the wall of stomach can be damaged by HCl secretion during the digestion of protein. But there is another defensive mechanism of the stomach wall. It is having certain type of mucus cell which secrete mucus, which is of very you can say the mucus is of nature which protect the wall of stomach from action or attack of this acidic media, that is known as HCl. So, this is a very important, mucus is a very important part of stomach which is secreted only to protect the wall of stomach from being damaged by the action of HCl. That is why we say that generally in acidic condition, whenever the acidic condition appears in our stomach, it generally means the secretion of HCl is being increased. The secretion of HCl if increased, then we feel certain type of acidity in our stomach, and this acidity if not controlled by secretion of mucus, then we feel irritation in the stomach as well as in the esophagus part also. So, this is acidic condition. Now, this is the structural part of stomach where actually the digestion of proteins takes place. Now, let us come to this stomach is now opening or converting, or you can say continuing into the another part of alimentary canal, that is the small intestine. Fine. Now, small intestine. This stomach which is continuing into this highly coiled tubule-like structure is known as a small intestine, and this small intestine is then continuing into this part which is large intestine. Now, small intestine is the name as a small because it compact in shape. That means you can say it compact into or compress into a definite shape, that is why we call it as a small. Otherwise, the length of small intestine is more than the length of large intestine. Now, small intestine is divided into three main regions: duodenum, jejunum and ileum. These are the three main regions of small intestine. Duodenum is a C-shaped structure, C-shaped tube of small intestine which is continuing from from stomach. In this duodenum part only, the pancreas or the duct of pancreas is also opening. This duodenum is also having opening of pancreas. That means you can say pancreas opens into duodenum through pancreatic duct. Actually what happens in this duodenum, pancreas which is opening, that means the pancreas is also secreting certain kind of juices known as pancreatic juices, which is very important juice, as it contains lot of digestive enzyme in order to complete the digestion process. Now this pancreatic juices which is secreted by pancreas is entering into the duodenum, as well as the liver part from where the bile juices are also secreting. Liver is also very important organ that will going to help in the process of digestion, mainly in the process of digestion of fats. So the bile juice secreted by liver is actually enters again into the duodenum through this common bile duct. Fine. The gallbladder which is present just along with the liver. For example, if this is a liver, the gallbladder is present in this manner. Okay, it is not present or it is not embedded inside the liver. It is present on the, or you can say आप कह सकते हो एक stick हो रहा है इसके surface पे. Then if we talk about liver as well, liver is also bilobed structure. Fine. And this bilobe structure of liver is having gallbladder on its surface. This gallbladder is nothing, it just store the bile juices. The bile juices are the juices formed in the liver. Now the duct which is coming out of the gallbladder is known as cystic duct, and the duct which is coming out of the liver, or this is the branches of duct coming out of the liver, is known as hepatic duct. Hepatic duct, this is hepatic. Hepatic term we use for liver actually. The cells of liver are known as hepatic cells. The hepatic duct and the cystic duct combine to form a duct known as common bile duct. This common bile duct carrying the bile juice. Okay? This carrying a bile juice, because bile juice contains certain type of pigments and salts which is also important for digestion. Now this bile juice continue in a duct which is known as common bile duct. This common bile duct combined with the pancreatic duct, and that this common duct where the bile duct as well as pancreatic duct combines, because this common duct known as hepatopancreatic duct. Hepatopancreatic duct, the duct combines by the combination of bile duct and pancreatic duct. This common hepatopancreatic duct is actually receiving juices of pancreas and liver, that is bile juice. Now both type of juices get mixed up and they secreted into the duodenum. So duodenum actually receives the secretion from pancreas as well as secretion from liver. So duodenum receives secretions from pancreas and liver through common hepatopancreatic duct. Fine. So duodenum actually is the region where digestion of food completes. Here in the duodenum, the digestion of food completes. Fine. And even you can say the digestion of food complete, that means all the food digested into simplest component. Fine. Then later on the jejunum part, This jejunum part is highly coiled part, which is again extension of duodenum. So in jejunum and ileum part, the absorption starts of nutrients. That means the food, when digested into the simplest nutrient, these simplest nutrient will then start to absorb, and the absorption once started, absorption means nothing, the nutrients start going into the blood, and through blood these nutrients are reaching to their cells or the tissue part wherever they are required. So in a small intestine you can see the digestion complete and as well as the absorption of nutrients also complete. Fine. Why the digestion and absorption complete here? For absorption of nutrient, these small intestine, that means the jejunum and ileum part, definitely should have microvilli projections, that is brush bordered epithelium found in it. Fine. Which increases the function of microvilli or brush border epithelium is it increases the surface area of cells for more and more absorption. That is why maximum absorption of nutrient takes place in the small intestine, that means the distal part of small intestine, because in the duodenum, which is the proximal part of small intestine, here the digestion complete, and the distal parts of small intestine, jejunum and ileum, here the absorption of food also complete. Now the matter is, this small intestine continues into this large intestine. How this small intestine extending into the large intestine, the distal end of this small intestine gets slightly swelled, and this particular part extended of small intestine continuing into the large intestine. So this part of large intestine then called as cecum, and the junction of small intestine and the large intestine forming a nerve is known as appendix. This appendix is actually vestigial in we human being because it is not functional in us. Earlier it was functional due to presence of certain types of enzymes in it, but now it is not functional. If any inflammation takes place in this appendix, the condition is known as appendicitis, and in that case the doctor has to remove it out by surgery. Fine. Now this cecum part continues into three types of colon. This colon, this whole is colon actually. This colon is divided into three regions: ascending colon, transverse colon and descending colon. Cecum, colon and rectum is the part of large intestine. Colon is again of three types, that is ascending, transverse and descending colon. This descending colon, it then continues into the rectum part and then into anus. Now what happens in large intestine is, after complete digestion, the undigested material which is all left behind, now it will all going to be comes into the large intestine, and here maximum absorption of water occur. So after complete absorption of water, all the undigested fecal matter will remove outside of the large intestine through this anus. So this is all about the structural part of the alimentary canal. Now we will going to discuss about its physiology in the next lecture. Thank you.